Hi guys, thank you for joining this conversation once again as we're approaching end of November. It's about time we release our another news video for automotive industry news, in particular the news that we personally found interesting, not necessarily the most important news of the month. And I would like to start with Daimler Trucks. The TechCrunch released an article saying that Daimler Trucks partnered up with Waymo to build self-driving semi-truck. That's quite interesting. And the agreement between two companies was that they will build an autonomous version of the Freightliner Cascadia truck. And apparently this is Waymo's first deal in the freight business, which is also quite exciting for the company. Henning, what do you think about this cooperation? What do you think it will result in?
Yeah, thanks, Hannah. So this is truly very interesting for two reasons. One, I think trucking business and automating trucking, it's pretty clear that there is a business case in the short run. So one, there is even hope that one can actually make money with it pretty soon. That's a good thing, right? And it's a fairly controlled design domain. It's mostly highways. It's fairly good to test these kind of things. So it makes total sense to get into this domain. And it's, I think, a huge win for Waymo and Google behind it to partner with a strong company like Daimler Trucks to get into this space. The question is this good for Daimler or is it not good for Daimler? And I think traditionally when this autonomous driving started to be taken more serious by car makers and truck makers also, there was a bit the fear of these traditional automotive companies to become a mere hardware supplier to whoever puts cool software on top of that, right? So that fear was first, I think, articulated maybe some 5 to 6 or 10 years ago even. And now it seems like we are actually at that stepping point where that is actually happening, right? Company like Daimler Trucks builds the hardware and then a true tech company comes and puts the software on top of it to kind of increase the value of that machine then in the end. But in my opinion, I think it's not the case because I clearly see that it makes total sense to actually sell the trucks while it's needed, which is today, and put some software in this. And I think it's also pretty clear that Daimler at the same time works on similar technology. And they simply use one supplier now, work on that stuff, and may have other suppliers in the futures. And I think this is much more in line with how traditional automotive companies work. They have their suppliers. They never, hardly ever or never have a single source of anything, and then negotiate the best deals and also at the same time build their own stuff. And I can very well see how that works out in the future. So yeah, exciting times. Looking forward to see how that develops. And I think it's good for both of these companies. Tom, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree that it can be that way. There's a lot that remains to be seen. I mean, I was initially pretty excited when I read the headline that Daimler and Waymo are now collaborating, the keyword being collaborating on autonomous trucking. And then I was a little less excited when I read the article, and the collaboration basically amounts to Daimler Trucks is selling vehicles to Waymo, which is doing something to those vehicles which Daimler will never have access to and never even be informed about, right? So at first step, it seems to be what you touched upon earlier, purely the selling of a piece of hardware for someone else to create value on top of. But then again, that's their business, right? I mean, it's Daimler Trucks. They're supposed to build trucks and they're supposed to sell trucks. So it's probably not a good idea to be overly critical of this. Plus, it doesn't mean that they cannot still build a solution of their own, right? I mean, Daimler Trucks still has their ongoing collaboration with Torque Robotics in the USA. So if they were to pull off a solution of their own while having other companies pay them for their trucks, then that would kind of be a very good position to be in. So I guess it's going to be something that will be funny to judge in retrospect. But I guess it will take us a few years to see who really comes out on top here, or if maybe it's a win-win for everyone.
Looking forward to seeing where this collaboration brings us. Let's move on to the next piece of news, and it's about Honda. Honda became the first company in the world who got approval for level 3 autonomous car. Just as a little background for those who might not know, level 3 autonomy implies that it's also called conditional driving automation. It means that the car is capable of detecting the environment around it, but the driver is supposed to take over the lead whenever it's needed. And yeah, Honda will be the first company to start selling this type of cars. They said that they will start selling the vehicles by the end of this fiscal year. Henning, what do you think about it? Do you think the full autonomous future is much closer than we actually think it is?
Yeah, it's a good point. I saw the news. Wildly exciting news, in my opinion. Very happy to see this happen. Very happy to see this happen so soon. This is like right around the corner, right? We'll go into winter break very soon, and thereafter it's March in no time. Yeah, cool stuff. So I think it's a bold move by Honda, and I suppose that this system works at level 3 in Japan only. I'm unsure about this, but I would imagine that this works in Japan only at first. And I could also see that Japan is a very good market to start using such systems. Everything is very well developed. It's an island after all, so it's hardly any cross traffic stuff going on, and yeah, it's exciting to see, and I'm very sure that other manufacturers will follow this example soon thereafter.
Yeah, they are limiting it to answer that piece which you left open to certain use cases only, and to start also on highways. For example, they will have this function which they call, I believe, a traffic jam pilot, which will allow you to kind of take your hands off the wheel while you are in stop and go traffic. And then once the traffic clears, I assume the vehicle will require you to take over again. So a rather limited use case, but then again, that's one of the most tedious situations when you're driving, right? Stop and go traffic. It's terrible. I mean, either you're driving, which is good, then you're driving, or you're stopped, and then that's okay. So you can but stop and go is the bane of any driver, I would say. So if they can pull that off, then it's already a pretty good value add, I would say. And it's super exciting that it's really happening now. I mean, March, like you said, is when these vehicles are going to go on sale. And it's Honda also. It's if you want to use that word, and I don't mean it in the ugly sense, it's a legacy car maker, right? This is not Elon Musk who is telling everybody that level 5 autonomy is 3 days away. This is a company that has built vehicles for a long time with a proven quality record. And it's also not Maybach, right? I mean, sure, they're equipping some of their upper middle vehicles first, but Honda is still, this is a brand which is attainable for normal people. So like you said, Hannah, the autonomous tech is suddenly, it seems attainable for normal people, and that's definitely an exciting milestone.
Yeah, I personally find it really great news. I think driving is stressful for me at least, and I can't wait for being able to sit in the car and drink my coffee and relax. Well,
Yeah.
let's see how that works out for Honda. Wishing them all the best in any case. And the last piece of news that we would like to discuss is actually about Atlatec, and we have recently partnered up with GN Graphics. It's a company from Berlin that help us to bring even more reality into the simulation, making the simulation environment as real as actual real roads. And our partnership with GN ended up in the release of sample data that you can now already download from our website. I will attach the link in the description above. Henning, could you please give us a little insight of what exactly was done and how us and the customers could benefit from this collaboration?
Yes, I'm very happy with this development. I'm very excited about this release of the sample data that you can find on our website. And what we are providing here is a computer graphics model of parts of San Francisco that we have mapped before. So that goes beyond the vectorized version of where is a lane, where is a road sign, where is the stop line, etc., etc. All that stuff, of course, is contained in it. But in addition to this, we have now artwork, which describes how the buildings look like. There is material properties and all that kind of stuff. So it's really much more closer from a visual perspective to what it really looks like in these areas. And that's, of course, very cool. So this sample data and this type of artwork allows now to do much more sensor-based testing. It's much more suitable for driver in the loop testing, where you need a natural environment to feel immersed into the simulation, for example. And all these things really have gotten quite a step forward, I would say. So I'm very happy with how that went, and also how we integrated our data and how we worked with Trian Graphics was very very nice to do.
Very nice. I'm excited to see where it will turn up again, as was the case when we released sample data in the past. I mean, people download it from the website. It's free. You can do whatever you want with it, right? So you don't have to tell us what you do with it. But it's nice then when you go to some conferences or whatever, or watch some talks on YouTube, and suddenly someone is presenting something where there was something done based on the data that you actually provided. So that was interesting. And as you say, there's a number of use cases that come into play now with this graphic environment, like camera simulation, ray tracing, or whatever, driver in the loop, as you said. So I'm already excited to see where this will turn up and come back to us, so to speak, what people will do with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I mentioned before, feel free to download sample data or reach out to us per LinkedIn, email, whatever is best for you. Well, thank you guys for joining the call. I'm wishing all of you a very nice December holiday season. Hope you enjoyed despite the pandemic and all these regulations that we're currently facing. And all the best.
Thanks for joining in. Have a nice weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.